Hello, Commander. Our leadership have decided to purge, our army of any spies and espionage attempts or agents or sympathizer of our enemies. So we have a new YouTube channel that you need to subscribe. Any of the soldiers, the DPA Army soldiers that did not subscribe, will be seen as a spy for the enemy soldiers. So do check out the last video. That's where you will find the link to subscribe, and you have to sign this agreement on the like button to agree that to this. Yeah, whatever. Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 143 for the 16th of July. And sorry for the very cringy intro. I wasn't very prepared for that. Yeah, so got a lot of words. So anyway, let's start off with some out of the ordinary things. So there is a Ukrainian transport plane, I think it's Antonov. 12 transport plane that crashed in Greece. So this comes as a kind of a surprise to quite a lot of people, because why would a Ukrainian transport plane be flying around Greece? And not just Greece, but it was actually flying from Serbia, and they were actually going towards, I think, some Middle East country from another source that I saw. So according to ASB military, they say that the Ukrainian transport plane was carrying weapons and military equipment, crashed at 10:40 p.m. on Saturday in the village of Paleochori, Kavala in Greece. So this Kavala city and the Paleochori is actually here. So it crashed in the farmlands, according to published photos. And this is after the pilot reported engine problems. Then the ammunition on board detonated after the disaster. So according to the rescuers, all 8 people on the plane has perished. And so this is kind of weird. Not sure why this is the case. Probably they did not do enough maintenance on the transport plane, causing this disaster. I doubt this plane is advanced enough to get hacked, by the Russians to take it down, I guess. And of course, it's not going to be taken down by any Air Force or surface to air missiles. I believe this is a lack of maintenance, maybe because the stress of the war, they are not doing enough maintenance, maybe lack of spare parts, and all sorts of reasons, and causing this unnatural crash. Because military planes shouldn't crash that easily. So anyway, on the other news, this is a really weird. I almost felt like I have a lot of doubts, but this is really being viral, going viral all over the place. So I might as well just tell you. So from my point of view, this is rumor. So don't take this very, very seriously. But the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has ordered to increase the actions of Russian military groups in all operational areas in Ukraine. The reason for this is actually to eliminate the possibility of the Ukrainian forces to launch rocket and artillery strikes on civilian infrastructure and the residents of Donbass and other regions. And other regions actually means Kherson region and Zaporizhzhia region, as well as Kharkiv. All the places where the Russians have taken so far. So this information is from ASB military, but the Telegram channel, but this is actually in a lot of other places as well. So they said that the military officers have received order to ramp up attacks on Ukrainian positions all over Ukraine in all directions. So very, very bullish rumor here. I have no idea how true is this. This is not reported on the official Russian Ministry of Defense Telegram channel. So I do suggest take a huge, massive bowl of salt or MSG for this piece of information. We will know over the next few days whether there is indeed a ramping up of attacks or operation by the Russians in Ukraine. But from my point of view, it seems a little hard to ramp up any further by the Russians on the Ukrainians, because the Russians are already overwhelming the Ukrainians in terms of artillery and airstrikes, and I can't see how much more can the Russians do without bringing more troops into Ukraine. So that's my point of view. Perhaps the Russians have been fighting with one hand behind their back, which actually they are. So maybe they have been fighting with two hands behind their back. They are only using their tongue. So who knows? Anyway, so away from this weird news that are not happening inside Ukraine, let's go on to the cross-border shelling. So the Russian Shaolin monks attacked the Serene Buddha here. So, or maybe they just went there to pray. So the Serene Buddha got shelled by the Russian troops, Seredina Buddha, and Esman also reported shelling. Is also in the Sumy region, and this is only the two shelling reports that I have from the Russian forces. In terms of the Ukrainian side, I actually have nothing. There's no return fire. Although what I notice from the Ukrainian defense ministry is that they are starting to get a bit lazy to report about these cross-border shellings. From the last reports, in fact, it's not just cross-border, but in terms of general information about shelling, which they have been very diligently reporting, all the different locations that reported shellings, and they have been now saying maybe this location B, C, D, E, F, then they will add and others, like what is others. They're starting to get a bit lazy, and it could be a case where they start to get sick of even reporting all these shelling reports, because it's a daily affair. It's every day, and then maybe the locations are getting more and more, and they are, whoever is writing the report is starting to feel a bit stupid, which is why I never want to report every single piece of shelling. So yeah, so that's the situation now. So not sure if one day the Ukrainian defense ministry will just give up entirely reporting all the shellings. But but if you have ever go and look at the Ukrainian defense ministry operational information, there is not the most, like 80% of the information is actually shelling. In fact, okay, maybe not so much, maybe 70%. Then you have 10% speculations, like the Belarusians are preparing to go to attack, the kind of thing. Then maybe another 20% about some other stuff. So the other 20% could be like things like, oh, the Russian forces attacked this position and they got repelled, the kind of information. So most of the report is just about shellings, about Russian airstrike a certain location and stuff. So if they don't include that information, then the report is also kind of blank. Moving on to the southern front. What is this? Let me take a look. Okay. I need to shoot. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the southern front. Nothing's happening. Other than there's this MiG-29 shot down over Vladimirivka, or Vladirovka, or Volodymyrivka. So, and then there's also a MiG-29 shot down over Novopalivka. So one thing I want to note about this shutdown is that what I noticed is that the Russian Air Force is incurring further and further into Ukrainian lines. So this is really far away. is near to Beshtenka, and for the Russian planes to because this is shot down by Russian Air Force, which means that the Russian planes are getting closer and closer to the front line, or they even have passed over the front line. And this could actually mean that the Ukrainian air defense are starting to fail, or starting to get too thin, that the Russian Air Force is starting to feel more and more confident to fly over Ukrainian positions. I mean, this is just my speculation, but it seems to be that case, because I'm starting to notice a lot more of these shoot downs is by Russian Air Force rather than by surface-to-air missile. So this is just my thinking, but those that have been following me for this far, maybe you might have observed this as well, especially for those that have been playing around with the map, which you can find at defensepoliticsasia.com/Ukraine, or just check the description below. So moving on, there's nothing there here, so that's all just the shoot downs. Moving on to the Zaporizhzhia line, there is no more information about the fighting at Kayamsky. This Kayamsky information have kind of like just dropped off, and this Ohilsky totally is no longer happening. So we will take note about the Kayamsky, so I deleted that one. But we just take note, if another summary come along and we still have no reports of fighting here, then we just delete it, because the fighting essentially have stopped. But of course, artillery strike continue. The artillery battles continues across the entire front line. So just remember that. I'm not going to keep repeating that, because it's kind of stupid to talk about artillery shellings, because it just happens all the time. Moving on to the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk Front, that even this reported fighting on the east of Pelivka is no longer valid. I no longer see anything about this fighting around this area, so I'm going to delete this. And there is this Mi-8 shot down over Velika Novosibirsk. This is reported by the Ministry of Defense of Russia. And Mi-8 is usually meant more for transportation, but it can be armed with some rockets. It's a bit fragile because it's a very old type of helicopters. Getting shot down might suggest that the helicopter is there to transport some officers, perhaps. Moving on, there's nothing happening around here. It's just typical Russian bombardments with Ukrainians counter bombardments. Or the Ukrainians launching multiple launch rocket systems and into the Russian held locations, and the Russian just counter fire. Has always been like this. The fighting at Vodian is basically died out. This one from the 15th of July. So this is from yesterday. If I didn't reply, I didn't report on this yesterday. There is fighting reported at Vodian around here. So this reported by the Ukraine Defense Ministry. So I didn't see this information for today. So perhaps the fighting has gone. There is a Mi-29 shot down over Troitsky. I think this is from yesterday's information. In case, I think it's from yesterday. So anyway, just gonna leave it there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Maybe it matters. Maybe some people are just anal about it. Okay, let's see. Yep, it's there. So let's delete this. So okay, so moving on. So that was from yesterday's information. So you can ignore that. Fighting continue at Novoluhansky. There's a video come out of the Ukrainian troops at the Volhyhirska power station, showing them cooking a pot of soup. Otherwise, this fighting doesn't seem to have worked out. Ukrainian positions continue to hold at Vagina at Kodem or Kodema, Semihja. The Russian forces basically didn't capture anything. So that the situation, similar situation all across this entire front, and no other information about Soledar as well. No idea what's happening there. This Vasilivka dispute probably is not true, and then so I've deleted it. But there's still no breakthrough at Brestove or below Horivka. Moving up north, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry now reports that the fighting is now at Ivano-Darivka. This is based on the latest or the last latest or the last two Ukrainian Ukrainian Defense Ministry report. So you see, they wrote assault action in the area of the settlement of Ivano-Darivka. So of course, the Russians are never successful, and if it's successful, they will not report it. So yeah, and so no idea about this fighting reported at Spirne. Interesting thing is that I think I might not have saw the dispute of Spirne anymore. Then furthermore, in the northeast of this Ivano-Darivka, there's this very weird report, this weird part in the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense report, where they wrote in the translation, I tried to move in the direction of Verkhan Okamenka. He was resolutely rebuffed, suffered losses, and withdrew. So, so is this Ukrainian forces move in the direction of Verkhan Okamenka, and the Russian forces got destroyed and took losses and withdrew. However, when I actually put it over here in the deep translator, you can see that let me find the part for you. Let me find, where is it? Slovians. Sorry, I'm a bit blind. Is it further up? So shit, I cannot find it. Okay, here is it. So, but this translation is different. Just now, instead of I carry out the assault action, now this he carry out the assault action in the area of Ivano-Darivka, but has no success. Try to so this part is also different. Try to penetrate in the direction of Verkhan Okamenka. He won the battle and sustained losses and withdrew. So the translation is absolutely reverse. It is the opposite. So I have no idea what's happening here. So is there even fighting here? Because this information seems very out of the ordinary. It seems to be against the flow of the battle as well. So for the battle to suddenly appear at Verkhan Okamenka, which is actually this village here. Sorry, I should put it here. This small little village here. It seems very out of the norm. So that's why it's a question mark. But the translation is just messed up. It's just this is by Bing Translate. So this is embedded within my browser, Microsoft Edge, and the other one by Deep Translate just reports the entirely opposite thing. So I have no idea. Okay, so then we have this interesting scenario. Let me move the border a bit. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, they say that a rifle company from a certain brigade and battalion have completely abandoned its position near Verkhan Okamenka, which actually puts into question that the capture of Verkhan Okamenka might actually be invalidated, which is why I currently put a flag back for the Ukrainians, because this might suggest that Verkhan Okamenka is actually still Ukrainian control, which is why this is the case. And but I also indicate the same information here on this icon representing the withdrawal by the Ukrainian forces. So that's the situation here. Over at Siversk, it seems like the Russians have sprung the trap of sorts, because Ukrainian Air Force start to operate over Siversk, where we can see a Hind, Mi-24 got shot down over Siversk. And there's also a Sukhoi 25 of the Ukrainian Air Force also getting shot down over Siversk. This is a ground support aircraft, so is Mi-24, which is also a ground attack helicopter, which means that the Ukrainian forces are actually converging on Siversk in this attempt to attack, or even to destroy the Russian forces. Maybe they have sprung the trap, because remember in the last summary we talked about the possible trap that the Russians might be stepping into, and maybe this is the trap. They suddenly launched this major assault. And it's important to note that this is one Sukhoi 25. Usually in Ukraine and Russia, they operate in two. Per wing is actually two aircraft. So we might actually see 2 Sukhoi 25 flying in, only one got took out. Similarly for the Hind, the Mi-24, it is very hard to imagine they are operating alone, usually probably in pairs as well. So this is something just interesting. And however, there is also a video coming out from Siversk of the Russians heavily bombarding the hilly area around Siversk, which you probably can see if you join the DPA Telegram channel. I believe I shared there. If not, then you can actually probably find it in the DPA's Twitter. Everything is in the description. So the Russian MoD, the Ministry of Defense, actually have a statement on Siversk. They mentioned high precision attacks and resulted in the elimination of the 115 mechanized brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces that operated towards Siversk. So they claim that over the past 2 days, this brigade has lost 600 men, and now the Ukrainian Ukrainian side is trying to mobilize to refill the ranks in this battalion. So or this brigade. Of course, take this with a pinch of salt because all this kind of information it can be wrong, and also but this is just to corroborate the video that I saw where the Russian forces actually launched a major of bombardment of Ukrainian positions around Siversk. There is still no updates regarding the situation at Krychorivka. Still not sure what hell is happening here, and this fighting at Serebryanka also kind of have died out. No idea what's happening here. Moving on to the Izyum Front. At the Izyum Front, Mi-17 got shot down over Sloviansk, and this is by the Russian Air Force. That's why I just now I mentioned about. It seems like the Russian Air Force seems to have more freedom to fly into Ukrainian airspace. So this is some of the corroboration of what I'm trying to say. There's no other updates regarding all these positions. No change from yesterday. There is a Sukhoi 25 shot down over Velika Komishubaha. So not sure what to make of this because this plane is so far away from the active fighting areas. And now we okay. And then at Kupyansk, the Russian administration raised a new flag. It's a pink Russian flag, and this is actually representing the Kharkiv maybe People's Republic. So it's like a Russian flag, but instead of the white part is white, it's actually in pink. So can I draw out? Can I bring out the so I can show you. Whoops, must be loud. Sorry. Yeah, so you can see they raised the flag. So the significance of this flag is that this shows that the Russians are going to annex at least this area of Kharkiv, because if not, then what's the point of having a new flag? So this might seem that the Russians are here to stay for this region of Kharkiv, and this is gonna be rather bad for the Ukrainian side, because once you start to raise the flag, you're not going to leave. So the Russians are not going to leave all these civilians behind. So but whether will they capture the entire of the Kharkiv Oblast, that's hard to say. That's hard to say. So moving on to the Kharkiv Front. At the Kharkiv Front, I have no changes in terms of all the situation here. Fighting continue at Verkhny South, and otherwise it's mostly just artillery battles in Kharkiv Front. All this ground offensive seems to has all died out. There's really no reports regarding the fighting at Kharkiv. So this is the summary for the day of 143, day 143, and for the 16th of July. And hopefully you guys would go and support my other channel, the Defense Politics Asia Analytics. In case you haven't checked it out, let me pull it out and show you. Here. So
Defense Politics Asia Analytics. Currently, there is no custom URL yet because we are not there yet. When I first so-called advertised this, I only had 6 subscribers, so now we have 618. So thanks to you guys who are loyal soldiers of the DPA Army and went over to subscribe. There's only one video at the moment, the CSI for Sri Lanka, and this is the latest report, actually dated a few days ago, but do check it out. I will be posting more and more content on this channel soon. There's also a gaming channel, Defense Politics Asia Gaming. There's nothing there yet. I haven't posted anything there yet. Hopefully soon. And anyway, this is the summary, and I'll see you in the next update.